Happy Kwanzaa to everybody.
All right.
I have to tell you a story before I start. Up on the corner here on the top left, you'll see a picture up there of a big man there. It's my Uncle Joe Lewis.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I think about the fact of when I got of age where I could talk to and relate to him and sitting and visiting with him. But before I do that, I'm president of an organization called Citizens for Detroit's Future. And there are a number of us in this room, I believe, that you're from CFDF. Just kind of make a little noise. And as I looked up and saw Uncle Joe, I recalled my name. My name is Tommy Joe Barrow. And the name is Joe because he paid for my being born. My daddy's name is Red. They called him Red. You see, when the Great Migration took place and black folks came from down south, a lot of you here take for granted that we could even sit in spacious and nice places like this. But there's a lot of folks that preceded to allow this to happen. Our ancestors. And we can never forget that. And to you young people particularly, I have to begin by commending the grandparents who are here, who brought their grandchildren. The dads and the moms who brought their children. To the aunts and the uncles who brought their nieces and nephews. Passing on this history is so important. And I recall when I went to Las Vegas to sit with Uncle Joe, I didn't know where he lived at. And so I went to Caesar's Palace. And I walked up to the front desk and I said, where does Joe Lewis live at? I knew he lived in Las Vegas, I didn't know where. And they said, well, we can't tell you that. That's confidential. I said, well, can you reach him? They said, well, yes, we can reach him, but we can't tell you where he lives at. So I said, well, could you just tell him, if you would just call him, tell him that Red's little boy, Booty Boy, that's my nickname. You see, in the black community, for those of you who do not know, in the black community, we all got nicknames.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's Pookie or Boo Boo or a little bit, or Strassi or whatever those nicknames might happen to be. And my nickname was Booty Boy because I would take off my diaper and I would walk into the neighborhood and I would show my booty. I grew up that way and I wasn't ashamed of that because I know that anybody says to me when I'm out, they say, well, hey, Tom, or they call it, hey, you're Booty Boy on Hurlbut, on the east side. I still live on the east side. When I die, they're going to bury me on Woodward, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm hardcore Detroit. Yeah. And I remember, never forget, Detroit, you are powerful if you come together and use that power. And when I asked them at the front desk, how do I get to see Uncle Joe, just tell him that Red's little boy, Booty Boy, is here at the hotel. He said, Red's little boy? I'm watching them at the desk, and their face lit up. Booty Boy? Yeah, give him my address. He can come on over to the house. And I remember them driving down in the desert there to the house. And I rang the doorbell. And coming to the door was Uncle Joe. But now, I realize who he is. You see, when I was growing up, he was just a guy. Just somebody who came into the house. I didn't pay it any mind. And I was living over there on before I-75 came to there, a lot of you don't know, before 75 came to there, it was called Black Barrow.
That's right.
And when we came up from the south, don't ask, some folks who say, well, I was born in Detroit, and I was born at Hutzel Hospital, I was born at Harvard, I was born at Grace or Sinai. You couldn't go to those hospitals. And so I was born in a little black hospital called Kerwood. And folks remember Kerwood over on Davison.
Right on Davison, yeah. Where the basketball courts are.
I'm talking about Kerwood next to the Art Institute over there.
Oh, that one.
And that's the only place that black doctors could practice. We had 20 black hospitals in Detroit. You don't know that because they don't tell us that history. When I think of Imani, it is what we have been taught by our parents, and what Uncle Joe said to me sitting at that dining room table when we went in there. And we sat there, these huge hands. And that's what I remember so much. And as we talked, and I asked him about match smelling. You know, until now, that was the only thing I saw on television. I didn't know who match smelling really was, how he was as a person. But here's a man who fought him, and he expressed to me the feeling that he had when he lost the first time. And that inspired me. Because he lost the first time, and he felt as if he'd let every black person, and back then, the word was not black as it is today. It wasn't Negro as it was then, after that. It was you were colored. You were colored. And he felt as if he'd let every colored person down. And so it inspired him to come back and to take it over and do it again. When I think of the word Imani, it is the faith that he had that he could come back and could do it again. And he came back and he knocked out Smelling in the first round, knocked his block out. And so that has inspired me every step along the way. And when I think about him and where we are today, and I remember growing up on the east side, on a little street called Hurlbut and Kirchville. Now that's not where rich folks stay, on Hurlbut and Kirchville. Back when I was coming along, we used to think that, you know, if you lived on the west side, you was rolling, you had money on the west side. That's where that's where you had money. Or if you stayed out in Conant Gardens. That is what we saw as rising and becoming successful. I never thought I would finish high school, much less go to college. I never thought I would finish college. And then I remember wanting to be an accountant. And I remember one of my clients, Dr. Charles Wright, and his idea of the African American Museum. And I remember Dr. Wright calling upon our firm, well, could you guys be our accountants? Accountants for Dr. Charles Wright. Yes, that's what we were. Our firm were the accountants for Charles Wright. And those of you who don't remember that this museum didn't start here. This is a result of the black power exercised by Coleman Alexander Young. The museum was at first was over here on East Warren in a little tiny little house. And then we left over on East Warren and moved over on West Warren and the boulevard. And then the idea in meeting with Coleman Young in 1973, the black folks got together and they voted. And for the first time, the city began to exercise power. And for the first time, black accountants. I couldn't get a job. I went to every door in that Penobscot building knocking. I went to every door in the Ford building and the Dime building, and no accounting firm would hire me, so I could never become a CPA. Because if you can't work for an accounting firm, a CPA firm, you can't be an accountant CPA. And so one day Coleman Young says, you big 8 accounting firms, you will not get any more city business until you start to hire black accountants. And it was then that I got the opportunity. And it was then that I rose to build the largest black accounting firm in the Midwest. Yeah. It was then that I became the national president of the National Association of Black Accountants. It was then that I then wrote to the governor of the state of Michigan and said, how come we don't have blacks on the state board of accountancy, the body that licenses all accountants? And he said, well, can you suggest somebody? Yeah, you damn right I can suggest somebody. I suggested me. And then I had folks write from around the country saying to him, you need to appoint this little brother. And he appointed me to the State Board of Accountancy. And then I watched for a hot minute, and it was all old white men there. And I watched, and I noticed if you get to become the secretary of that organization, you then the next year become the treasurer, and then after that you become the vice chairman, and then you become the chairman. So I get to thinking, I say, well, you know, Bob, I'm thinking, well, you know, if I could be the secretary, because ain't nobody pay me no mind as a secretary. So I got in and I said, well, I'll be the secretary if you all will vote for me. So in their minds, they voted for a little Negro who's going to be secretary. Who cares? But I became the secretary for that board. And then the next year, I became the treasurer. And then the next year, I became the vice chairman. And then the following year, I became the chairman of the Michigan State Board of Accountancy. And I began to license all CPAs in this state of Michigan. And there's one CPA who I made, sometimes I wish I hadn't signed that one, who became governor of this state, Rich Snyder. If you look on his wall, you'll see my name on his wall. And I remember going to Wayne State University, Imani, on faith. And I remember the professor telling me that I could never become an accountant, more or less never become a CPA. Because when you get into accounting, you understand how things work. You become a threat. Because you know how it works. You know this bankruptcy was phony.
That's right. What about that?
They took your public schools from you on the coast.
Took Bell Isle, took all that.
Arguing and claiming that debt is the reason why they need to take your pension, and the debt is the reason why they need to cut the health care of the retirees. You know it was phony.
It was manufactured.
And I guess, as I stand here, Theo, and as our group, I'm so delighted to be associated with Hood Research. There's so much that I learn as a result of finance and accounting. So when they come now and they take our schools, remember now, understand something. It is only black cities where they've taken over every city in this state.
Yep.
Every black city in this state has been taken over. And all its assets sold off.
Park,
all the schools privatized. All the things that they formerly controlled. They convinced a lot of us that black people can't manage anything if you let them tell it. You saw what Eddie Murphy said. That's not new. They will convince you of that. They will convince you so that then you will begin to believe that white ice is colder than black ice.
That's right.
And therefore it's all right. Therefore it's all right for you to let somebody come into your community from over in a town, someplace a few miles away, 98% white, never once lived in Detroit as an adult, and then lord up over you. It's just wrong.
Dugan. Coming from Livonia.
Powerful. If you just take it, hell, you're Detroit. You can't do nothing if you don't come by Detroit. And so Coleman Young is the reason why I'm standing here today. Those of you who think Coleman Young is just two words, you don't know what you missed. You don't know what you missed. You don't know the pride people felt. You don't know what it was like when you thought you walked up into a restaurant and somebody set you by the kitchen or by the door, the water thing, you get up and walk out and set them out. You'll cut them a new tootie. That was pride. There's nothing to run away from. And those who have left and have moved, you still got Detroit in your hearts. I know that. As far as you're concerned, you relate to everything that's going on. You may not be able to vote, and people who can vote have a stronger ability to make change in Detroit. But we know where your hearts are. So let's come together, city and suburb, white and black, Jews and Gentiles, those who are from in and from outside. Come back into us. Help us